back to the basics with this workout. It's another circuit style workout, but don't worry, it won't be so easy that you won't break a sweat. For this workout, all you really need is a bottle of water to keep hydrated, but having a yoga mat also might be nice. For this circuit, we're going to have 5 exercises. Each exercise, we're going to do 15 repetitions. We're going to do 3 sets of this with a 30-second rest in between those sets. There will also be a preview of the next exercise in the bottom right corner. And as with any good exercises, we're going to start with a warm-up. We're going to do 4 different exercises, starting with the cat-cow. This is to mobilize the spine and get our muscles nice and warm. So as you inhale, you're going to roll those shoulders back, gazing up to the ceiling, arching that lower spine. And as you exhale, you're coming into cat, rounding your shoulders forward, chin to your chest, and you're going to repeat that a few times. Get those muscles nice and warm. Once we're feeling a bit looser, we're going to move on to the child's pose. So you're going to draw those hips towards your heels, reach those hands far forward. Once you're comfortable with that, you can slide one arm across your body. This is going to give a good old stretch in your shoulder, and then you're going to switch hands. After you're done with the child's pose, we're going to move on to a push-up. Now this can either be done on your knees or it can be done on your toes. Just make sure that the palms of your hands are below your shoulders. You're pressing up with the palms of your hands and keeping your core nice and tight. The last thing we're going to do is the inchworm. So you're going to stand up nice and tall with your hands on the ground and walk your hands out so that your palms of your hands are below your shoulders, and walk back. You're going to repeat this a few times. Get the whole body's muscles moving, and then we'll get started with our workout. Alright, so the first exercise is the bird dog. This one we're going to start in a neutral tabletop position, and then we're going to raise our opposite limbs up simultaneously. You're making sure to keep your core nice and tight, so your belly button to your spine. While you're raising your hands in your opposite leg, you're squeezing your glute or your butt muscle, as well as your lower back, keeping your balance and a nice neutral spine. Once you've raised both limbs once, this counts as 1 repetition. So don't forget, we're doing 15. A few more. 3, 2, And last one. Coming up next, we have the dead bug. This is basically the same thing as the bird dog, but you're lying on your back instead. For this one, it's important that your whole spine is touching the ground. Just like the bird dog, opposite limbs are coming down, floating just above the ground, and coming back to that neutral tabletop. If you can feel your lower spine lifting off the ground, you're probably not ready to do the opposite limbs just yet, so try doing one limb at a time. Again, we're keeping our core nice and tight, so your belly button to your spine. Slowly and concentrated, you're lowering opposite limbs. Remember, once you've repeated the exercise on either side, that counts as one repetition. You're almost done. We've got 3 more. 1, 2, keep your core nice and tight, and last one, 3. Next up, we have our side planks. In this side plank position, it's important to keep yourself anchored with your elbow that's on the ground. You're going to raise those hips high to the sky, and then after 7 repetitions, we're going to switch sides just to keep both sides even. You're doing great. And switch sides. Again, if this is too hard to do with your feet on the ground, you can choose to do it from your knees. A few more. 1, 2, 3. And the glute bridge is next. From the glute bridge, it's important that our heels are as close to our butt as we can get them. When we're pushing up with the heels, keeping our core nice and tight. So once again, belly button to your spine. We're squeezing our glutes or our butt muscles at the top of this movement and holding it for just a few seconds. Really concentrate on the mind-muscle connection, trying to activate those glutes as you press up with your heels. You'll probably also feel it in your hamstrings or the back of your thighs. We're not trying to press with those arms. We really just want to isolate our lower body here. Last ones. 1, 2, and 3. Next up is the wall sit. So for this wall sit, you can either make it easier by not doing the heel taps or make it harder by incorporating those heel taps. What's important is that your back is flat against the surface of the wall. You're keeping your core nice and tight and pressing with the heels of your feet to keep you upright. You're doing great, keep it up. This is the last exercise before you get a break. A few more seconds if you're holding it, and 2 more taps if you're not. and 1. Great job. Rest. All right, now that you've had a long rest, we're gonna get ready to move on to round 2. First up, we have the bird dog. As you probably remember from the last time, it's important that your palms of your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are under your hips, raising those opposite limbs up. If you find yourself wobbling too much, try doing one limb at a time. It might take you a little bit longer to hit those 15 repetitions, but it'll be well worth it. Remember to keep your core nice and tight for these last few, reaching as far forward and back as you can. You're doing great. Next up, we're going to have the dead bug. Moving to the dead bug, you're keeping your core super tight. Your spine is flat on the ground, lowering opposite limbs to hover just above the ground. As you pull in, you really want to squeeze those abdominal muscles. You're trying to build a nice, strong core. Take it nice and slow, and make sure you're doing each exercise right. You're doing great. We're almost there. Just a couple more. And up next, we're going to have the side plank. So remember, you can either do that one from the knees or from your feet. Pressing your hips up to the sky. We're going to do 7 repetitions, and then we're going to switch over. We're working our oblique muscles here, or the side abs. But in doing so, we're also keeping the stability in our shoulder. Just a few more. You're doing great. Next, we're going to have the glute bridge. And moving on to glute bridges. Your feet are nice and close to your glutes, and you're going to press up with those heels, activating your posterior chain, or those hamstrings and those glute or butt muscles. Make sure you're keeping your belly button to your spine so your core is nice and strong, nice and tight. You're only pressing up with those heels, not with your arms or your back. Just a few more repetitions, and then we're going to move on to the wall sit. Remember, with the wall sit, if it's hard enough just to sit on the wall, that's perfect. If it's a little too easy and you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and tap your alternate heels. Keep your spine pressed right against the wall, pushing up with your heels, keeping your core nice and tight. Breathe in your nose and out your mouth. You're almost there. Just a couple more, and then you're going to be able to rest. Perfect. And rest. Grab some water, stay hydrated, because we got one round to go. Round 3 is going to start in a few seconds, and we're going to start with our bird dog. At this point, you've probably mastered the movement. So make sure you're keeping your core nice and tight and extending those limbs as far back as you can get them. A couple repetitions left. Next up, we're going to have the dead bug. Remember, keep that spine nice and flat on the ground Keep your core nice and tight, and slow and steady wins the race. Extend those limbs out and bring them together, squeezing your core. Just a few reps left, and then we're going to move on to the side plank. 7 repetitions either side. Once again, you can either do it from your feet or from your knees, whatever you feel you're able to do at this point. Extend those hips all the way to the ceiling and give those obliques a good squeeze. And one more, and we're gonna flip. You're almost there. Next up is gonna be the glute bridges, your second to last exercise. Keep going. Heels to your glutes, activate your core, belly button to your spine, press up with those heels, squeeze those glutes, and come down. You're almost there. You've got one more exercise. We're gonna move on to the wall sit with the heel taps. Remember, if the heel taps are too hard, you can just do the wall sit. That's absolutely fine. This is your last exercise, so let's make sure we do it right. Because after this, you have your whole day ahead of you. Just a couple more heel taps, and then you're done. Last one. Done. Great job, everybody. Thanks for participating, and see you all soon.